Today we're going to be looking at the Malam playing cards by System6playingcards.com. So this is the front of the tuck box. It just says Malam playing cards right here. It says System 6. You can't even see that. So this is the front of the tuck box, which you already saw. It says Malam playing cards here, System 6 here at the top, and this has this nice border. It also says System 6 here at the bottom. At the top it actually says Presents. Bottom it just says Playing Cards. But it has this nice, really cool gold border. It's on this like matte cardstock. Another deck that kind of resembles this is the David Blaine Skull and Bones deck. That tuck box is a lot like this. And then it has all this nice gold foil which goes on it. It's not embossed, but it is a really cool gold foil. Then it has these axes and spears. Technically they'd probably be tomahawks for this deck. And it honestly looks really good. This side just says Malam playing cards over here. This side says System 6 playing cards. The bottom has some ad copy for System6playingcards.com and the printer, Expert Playing Card Company. And the back is the back design. Now, I had taken off the seal, as you already saw. There was one problem with the seal, is that it's really sticky, especially with this matte cardstock. So because of that, it did tear the box a little bit when trying to take it off. And so I wasn't a big fan of that. The seal looked good, it just was not the right type. And then also on the inside of the tuck flap has the suits right here, which is nice. And the top of it says produced and distributed by System 6. And there's nothing on the inside, just red cardstock, except for these inside tuck flaps have these little logos there. There you go. Set this off to the side. All right. Now, the backs of the playing cards looks like the back of the box. Has the tomahawks, the arrows, medium border. Now, Expert Playing Card Company, not Expert Playing Card Company. Yeah, I don't know why I'm second guessing myself. They always come out with a little bit thicker stock. So when I was trying to spring this earlier, when I was making that video, honestly, they're just really hard to spring. They're really thick. They're really thick. So the best way for me to describe it, because it has such a good finish in the stock of it, because some thick cards are thick but can still be you can still spring them. The best way for me to describe these is taking like the Diva deck and taking that type of stock, but taking the springiness of the Skull and Bones playing cards. Because I could hardly spring those, but it has the same thickness as the Divas. See, this is what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's look at the faces. So, faces wise, you have the hearts first. We'll go through those. And one thing that you will notice is that all of them are completely custom done. They still have the same layout, but they're still custom done. But this part right here, the indices, that's standard. So they customized these. I wish this pip right here would have been there. And I thought that was kind of weird that these two are different. So then you have this here. And what you'll also realize is when they can make it a two-way back, they do. Which is just like the back design. But like usually the 6 has both of these facing the same direction. And now one's facing this way, one's facing this way to make them that way. You can flip it either way and it doesn't matter. So there's the hearts. Then you have the clubs. Once again, still a really cool custom design. Although the only problem with this sometimes is that with it being custom, it's harder to recognize really quickly, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Magic. But it still does look really nice. So this is definitely a collector's deck. I'm not sure about cardistry just because of the fact that I'm not a cardist, but it is a really detailed design, and usually cardists aren't as big of a fan of that. Either way. But in a lot of cases, I've seen cardists work with a lot of decks, so I think this could be done. Then you have your Indian themed face cards. You have the Jack of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, and King of Hearts, of course, resembling bicycle cards based upon the way they're facing and those types of things. So you have the hearts, you have the clubs, you have diamonds, and you have spades. After that, we have our aces. So we have, all of them are enlarged and custom, which I like because a lot of them just keep them small. Not my favorite. This is the type of thing that I'm talking about when I say I like custom aces. They don't even have to all be intricate like this, which I'm glad that they did, but mostly just the enlarged part, which looks really good. Although this is not. Ta-da! There you go. Now it's a heart. So there is your ace of hearts. We have ace of clubs and ace of diamonds. Now we have our duplicate jokers. Completely duplicate, just says system 6 playing cards at the bottom. It says jokers in the corners. Obviously they're one way. And then you have your ace of spades. That just says system 6 playing cards at the bottom. Now, I've already shown you what they look like in action. I've shown you what they feel like. Well, I've told you what they feel like. I've shown you what all the cards look like. Now, there's two things that you need to know. One, what do I think about this deck overall? So, tuck case, absolutely love it. The matte stock is a little bit hard for me. Although it feels cool and it looks cool, it is a little bit hard for me because of how the sticker works, and it makes it get damaged a little bit easier. But looks-wise, it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to give this a 9. Now the cards. So for the backs, magic-wise, absolute 10. Honestly, because it's not really that far off from a bicycle deck, which wouldn't really draw suspicion to these. For cardists, I'd probably give it about a 7. Just because, although it does have this part and this part would look good, spinning like this, it's not like the dots or something like that. It's really specifically made for them. But honestly, and just for like a collector or playing cards, it's a 10. Just because, honestly, just look at the intricacies on that thing. It's so detailed to the point where I bet my camera couldn't even pick it up if I even had it in focus. Like, that's absolutely insane. The amount of time that they put into this deck was just, honestly, just time-consuming and insane. So that's how I feel about the back design. Faces, it was kind of weird that like the hearts and things and the actual pips had 2 different colors of red. It's like you'd see like a lighter red and a darker red in there. I thought that was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of cool though. I've never seen one that had multiple colored pips. So I like the placement. I like how they're all custom. These kind of look like leaves, etc. They each had their own theme. I didn't like how these, like the pips and indices were different. Wow, my brightness just went off the chain. There we go. I didn't like how the pips and indices were different. I wish they all would have been like this feather or whatever they had here. Besides that, it's going to look really good. And blank fans are going to be super easy with this deck. I really did like how all of them were custom and the layout of them. I was not a fan, though, of how they tried to make them all two-way. It's a cool idea, but for magicians like myself, I have specific card tricks where I use the cards that are one-way, which is coming out soon, so what the heck is happening? That was weird. Either way, I have specific card tricks where I do things with that, and now like cards like this I wouldn't be able to use in that card trick. And then things like, let's see, absolutely loved the face cards. They were super cool. I like how they still resembled bicycle, but honestly, like the Indian heritage is cool. I have like 1/64 or something Cherokee in me, Cherokee Indian. So I just thought, honestly, these were super, 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 super cool. And then the aces, I really like them. I wish that they would have had this would have had more red in the ace. It had a lot more of the golden brown than the red, which for an ace of hearts is kind of hard. And I understand where this concept is coming from with this to make the point at the bottom. I wish they just would have shrunk it a little bit so that they still definitely had that point down there, because then it makes it a little bit less of a heart. Same for clubs. I just wish that this point would have been at the top, and that that the tomahawks would have come in a little bit, so you could really see that point there. And having a little bit more black. So like the main color, instead of having the browns and the grays, making the main color a little bit more predominant. The diamonds I thought was interesting, just because you had to like mentally trace that bottom and top, and you really don't know which way is up or down just because of the arrows. But besides that, it's kind of it's like a shapeshifter diamond, because you can't quite tell. It's not really. It's like a six-sided, like a hexagon, I think it is. It's more like a hexagon with points at the top and bottom than an actual diamond, but it still is cool. And then the jokers, they were really cool. I wish that they would have found some way to make them more colorful, but excluding that, they did look good. And then Ace of Spades, I don't really have anything against this one. This is just really beautiful. So for the faces for magicians, I'm going to give a 8.5, just because some of the things can be hard to recognize right off the bat. And for a spectator, that's what you need to see, because I'd say, well, you had the 9 of hearts. They'd be like, no, it's the 9 of diamonds, when that's just because they couldn't quite tell. Just like if you show them a card or something, that would make it a little bit more difficult. For someone who's a cardist, I would say this would be face cards wise, just like any other face card deck. So whatever cardists believe, like if it's not like a back-to-back design and it just has regular cards, I don't think this would change anything and make them any better or worse. And then of course, for people who just like gameplay and collecting, is a 10 out of 10. So now you know what you should do. If you guys want to buy this deck, check out Buyworthy playing cards. I'll leave them at buyworthy.au or something like that down in the description in the pinned comment. Thank you to Buyworthy for sending me this deck. Please go ahead, check out this deck, go buy it. It's honestly such a good deck. Now, because of course I've just told you everything I think about it, goods and bads, because I don't want to lead you astray or anything like that. Thank you guys. Make sure to smash that like button if you guys did like it. Let me know what deck you want me to review next. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Also, I do have a giveaway planned, so you guys will want to make sure to subscribe for that too. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.